Howdy do. I'm Ghoulie Joe, and I used to have hats, but I have no idea where they are. So now I have a dearth of hats. It's tragic. I have not made a video in 4 years, and so it's good to be back. I watched the Blob from 1988. It's a remake of a movie from the 50s, and you can tell because a major plot point is that scientists and the military and a religious figure join together to fight a monster, which is every 50s sci-fi movie ever. But in our 80s dub version, our main protagonists are Meg, a cheerleader played by Shawnee Smith, and Brian, a punk. And you can tell he's a punk because he has a leather jacket and an earring and long hair, and he litters. He's a rebel. And so they and the Holy Triumvirate of... I have no idea how to pronounce that word. I've only ever seen it written. And the other residents of their small town have to fight to keep from being devoured by pink goo that came out of a comet, as one does. It was written by Chuck Russell and Frank Darabont, the team that brought you A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which is pretty cool. And you may also recognize the name Frank Darabont from The Shawshank Redemption and The Walking Dead. And keeping consistent with his movies, you can see Jeffrey DeMunn walking around. He plays the sheriff. It's a good cast. If you look closely, you can catch Bill Moseley as a soldier and Jack Nance from Eraserhead as a doctor. And so, going back to the 80s, it's the 80s. We're talking phone booths, we're talking that big crazy hair that girls had to be like flopped over like this and then all flowing in the back, and Volkswagens, and there's a scene where a guy buys condoms and a tube of breath spray and he pays with a $5 and he gets like $1 something back in change. And there is one scene where it's a character we kind of still have now, but he was big in the 80s. It's like the best friend that's like always trying to get laid. He's making drinks out of the trunk of his car. He's got like a little hand mixer and everything. I guess it's battery powered. And his girlfriend is so drunk she passes out, so he starts unbuttoning her blouse. And it's played for laughs, because 80s! But other than that, it's pretty far ahead of its time. Meg is a badass. I was surprised. She's freaking cool. And she and Brian are equals. She's not cringing in the corner going, "Save me!" And the special effects are pretty great. The CGI was still in its infancy in the late 80s, and so most of it is practical effects, and it looks amazing. And there's a ton of gore, let me tell you. That also surprised me. And it's actually pretty unpredictable as far as what happens. And there's some comic relief, but yeah, it's really gory, like faces melting and people going into the blob and like, "Ah, my face," and it surprised me. And I guess my favorite thing about the movie is the life lessons. Let me tell you, never poke a meteor. If you see a meteor, don't get a stick, and especially if there's pink goo coming boiling out of it, don't poke it with a stick, and then don't hold the stick up over your head. The more you know. And that's about all I've got to say. I really liked it. I was surprised how much I liked it, actually. I was not sure what to expect. I'd seen the original a few times, and it was definitely more fun than the original, but I'm not a big 50s. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!